And now it's on.
That's the board.
Right. I know that you were observing everything that's been happening down here. I know that you got on a 6:57 a.m. flight from Washington, D.C. to leave a rally there, to be here tonight, to be with the Arbery family, to be here to lead the march here in Brunswick as we went through the community. But why are you here?
Here you go. Come on, Cliff.
Oh, Lord. I'm not crying. You're crying. You know, I've said this before I answer the question. You know, I've said this before, you know, in this work that we do, you know, it's important that you be in partnership and fellowship with folks that you're ideologically aligned with, right? You know, we got the same, you know, we got the same goals in terms of policies and issues. You know, that's important, right? But that can't be the end all be all.
That's right.
You gotta also be in partnership and fellowship with folks that not only have your politics, but they got your spirit.
That's right.
You know, the kind of folks that are really trying to, you know, I say it all the time, you know, it's not just about the way, it's not just about the work that we do, but it's about the way that we do this work.
Yeah.
And it's about the kind of society that we're trying to create. And it's about working with folks who, in their daily work, manifest the society that we're trying to create.
Yeah.
I don't want to live in a society, Darryl, where we can't play some I'm black and I'm proud. You know, and even in times of pain and crisis, where we can't play a little I'm black and I'm proud and have a little black joy and a little black love. That's not the society I want to live with, right? And so I'm going to be in partnership with folks that reflect those values and those hopes and those dreams and the ways that we go about doing this work. And that's part of the reason why I'm always, I said this earlier today, you know, when Barbara and Darryl call, I will always answer. We as an organization, Black Voters Matter, will always answer. I would have answered sooner, but what Darryl didn't share is that arrest is the first of 3 that I've had since the summer up in D.C. fighting for voting rights, and the 3rd of those 3 happened actually just yesterday. And so not quite as long. It actually looked like the way that you thought ours was gonna look. So just a couple of months too late. But so yeah, I'm just so glad to be here and in partnership with these individuals in this organization and this community, this family, this entire community. You know, some of y'all may remember, you know, we've been doing some work in this area, Brunswick, Glenn County, South Georgia, for some time. You know, we got folks here from Savannah, had folks here from Valdosta earlier. And you know, we've been doing work in this community for some time, including like during the runoff election. What y'all know about Georgia, y'all? Shock in the country, right? But even during the election, you know, one of my favorite, we were doing this thing called the Collard Green Caucus, where we were going around giving out collard greens and cornbread and other, you know, and then during Christmas giving out gifts. In fact, I think it was here where we had the snow machine. We had the snow machine here. And so, you know, so every time I come here, it's just a special thing. And in fact, my first time in the Glenn County Courthouse was that day, where before we did the actual event, that was the same day, y'all may remember. Y'all remember that organization that was going around during the election, during the runoff, trying to do blanket challenges of voters. Y'all remember that, right? And it came to Glenn County, they tried, I can't remember what the exact number, but it was like thousands of voters that they were trying to challenge, and of course, disproportionately black folk. And you know, I'll never forget the guy that was trying to make the case on these challenges was trying to act like he didn't know what race they were. Now, they knew all kinds of stuff. They knew who was in college. They knew who was first-time voters. They had all this information that he knew. But then when we said, well, why is it disproportionately black? Oh, I don't know if they're black or not. I don't know that much about them. And so that was my first time in the Glenn County Courthouse. And so I'm not shocked to hear that in this trial we got some of the same shenanigans going on. And so I had to come. And what I want to talk about very briefly, is, and especially since part of what the theme I think of tonight was that this is our Emmett Till moment.
Yes.
And so I wanted to talk a little bit about bearing witness, because bearing witness is important. It's important in our history. Where we've had things. We had Sister Harriet earlier tonight. And in fact, let me say this real briefly about Daryl. The whole time that I was watching Sister Harriet giving that performance, I'll give it up for her again because that was great. The whole time I'm thinking it would be just like Daryl to have me have to follow Harriet Tubman. I followed a lot of powerful sisters in my time, skating place. I ain't never had to follow Harriet Tubman. I said, I think this is going to be like that Daryl, have me follow Harriet Tubman. But he didn't do it, so I was a little surprised. But then I turned around and who he got me following? Parker Arberty. So here I am. So, but in this Emmett Till moment, in that trial, and this is similar to that moment for a couple of reasons. We talked about the courage that it took to demand that the video be shown, and that reminds me of Mamie Till and the courage that she showed, where she made sure that Emmett's body, his battered body, was shown to the entire nation, so that they could see the truth about what happened to our son. And when this family demanded that video be released, that was an Emmett Till moment. And so your courage has helped even bring us to this point that we're at today. So we thank you for that, and because it doesn't just affect Ahmaud's case, but it affects so many other situations where folks have had to make that same demand in state after state and city after city. And so they've been able to learn from the courage that you all show. So thank you so much for that. The other thing that makes me think about that Emmett Till moment is that there was a moment in the trial. We know about Mamie Till, and rightfully so, but a lot of us don't know about Emmett's uncle. Older brother named Mose Wright. He was the person who was in the house when they came and got him at that time. And he saw the whole thing. He saw who did it, right? I mean, everybody knew who did it, right? And so when it came time for the trial, there was a big question about, well, is he going to testify? Is he going to bear witness? And first they thought, well, maybe he won't show up. We can intimidate him. He won't show up, but he showed up. Then he got on the stand and said, well, he's on the stand, but he might not have the courage to actually say who did this, right? And so when it got up to the moment when he was asked the question, do you see the man, or do you see the man who came and took Emmett out? And he stands up. They ain't asked him to stand up. He stands up, points his finger, and says, "Dar he." Points his finger at this white man who had come into his house and took his nephew and beat him to death. Points his finger and says, "Dar he," to this white man in Mississippi in the midst of this trial. He bore witness. And so bearing witness is important in this Emmett Till moment. It's important throughout our history. It's important because bearing witness, we talk about Sister Harriet, part of the reason we know about what Sister Harriet did and how many people she freed is because there were people who were able to bear witness. There were people who were able to testify and say when folks woke up the next morning and somebody was missing and they was able to say, Moses was here. Right? They were able to bear witness. So bearing witness is important, but it's not just important historically, it's important spiritually. Right? You had to have Mary who could be at the cross to bear witness. Right? Because if you don't bear witness, then nobody can really understand the power of the miracle. Right? If you're not there to bear witness to the trials and the tribulation and the pain, then nobody can really appreciate 3 days later when the miracle happens, right? If you're not standing, if you're not there at the stone to be able to say that the stone is empty and the body's not there, if you're not able to bear witness, then people aren't able to benefit from the miracle, right? You got to be able to bear witness. And so it's powerful what y'all are doing, Barbara and Darryl. It's powerful what the families do. It's powerful what you all are doing. And I'm going to put out the call the same way they put out the call to me. Anybody who's watching this tonight, we need people who can bear witness. That's what we're doing right now. Everything that they're trying to do in the dark, we got to help bring to the light. Because we got to bear witness. We are on the light. So when they try to take off 11 or 12 black folks, we got to bear witness. When they try to do these crazy motions and remove Marcus and all this other stuff, we got to bear witness, right? And we need other folks to come here and bear witness with us. So we're putting out that call. Because part of bearing witness is this. Part of bearing witness is that you got to be able to tell the story afterwards. Because be clear, we are going to get justice. And when we get that justice, we got to be able to bear witness about the trials and the tribulations that we had to overcome in this courthouse in order to get that victory. We got to bear witness. But there's another aspect of bearing witness, right? Bearing witness means you watch, right? Bearing witness means you tell the story. But bearing witness also means that you bring correction. That when you see the wrong, that you call it out, but that you also bring correction. We all have got to play a part in bringing correction. You talked about earlier, Madam Commissioner, about breaking some yokes. We've all got to play a part in breaking those yokes. That's part of bearing witness. Bearing witness is not an inactive thing. Bearing witness is not something where you're just static. Bearing witness is a verb. Bearing witness takes action. And so we have got to bear witness. And we need others to join us in bearing witness. And then we've got to go, and after we bear witness and we bring correction in Brunswick and Glenn County, guess what? There's a lot of other places that got a lot of other yokes that we got to break. We got to bear witness a lot of other places. And so part of what we do, part of the way that we do our work, and I know part of the way that TJC does their work, is that we let folks know that you are not alone in this battle. You are not alone in Brunswick. You are not alone in Southwest Georgia. You're not alone in Minneapolis, where they just had a historic effort to pass a ballot initiative. They are not alone in that effort. We're not alone in Ferguson and St. Louis. We are not alone anywhere in this country. We have got to be better connected. And because it is through that connectivity, it is through that strength, it is through our collective efforts to bring correction. That is where the victory lies. And that's what it means to be at the top of the mountain, to reach the mountaintop, right? That we get there together. It don't do me no good if I get there by myself. Just like in that jail cell. It don't do me no good if I just walk out that jail cell by myself. That's not the mountaintop. Don't nobody want to be alone on the mountaintop. That's not what the vision was, right? So we got to get there together. If we can't get there together, then I don't want to get there. And that's got to be the way that we go about doing this work. That we got to do it together. We got to bear witness together. We got to tell the story together. And we got to bring correction together. That's why I'm here. That's why I will always answer the call that y'all make. That's why I love Brunswick. Thank you.
Anyone ever wondered why I tell you about Cliff being a brother and having your back? I think you just heard it. He answers the bell. He comes to the call. He tells the truth. He keeps it real. That's right. And you know, Barb, I think I'm going to yield to you on this one. I'm just going to open it up, though. Because, you know, every now and then there's something that's said to me. And I try to just process it for a moment. Because if it's something that doesn't sound right, I say, maybe I didn't hear it right. Because I know there wouldn't be a black man talking to me and another black man about being black, having your child slaved, and telling you it's best that you be silent.
Yes. That's great. Yes. Same.